So we have to go to California to get some pizza. Probably LA.
You want to go next week?
I mean, we'll be closest next week, but probably won't have time. You know, I mean, if we could fly out to LA, then leave LA and go to Vegas, but we've already booked the tickets, so. What's up, gentlemen? Good day, everyone. We were just talking about David Dobrik's new pizza place called Dobrik's. Dobrik's. Yeah. Me being the pizza fan. Actually, Haley was telling me about it this morning, so. It's lunchtime. What's up? Not lunch, that's for sure.
Who is it?
I mean, technically, I guess I just ate lunch.
Okay.
I mean, that's the only thing that I could think of. I mean, I had my trail mix, and you got us tamales. Thank you. My brain just went kapooey. What's up from the Netherlands?
Hey, what's up?
Bet you they got some weird fish stuff in the Netherlands, like you know, like Viking style old school stuff. That would just, you know, I'd totally give it a shot.
Yeah.
We got to go there. We'll go there next. Well, maybe not, but when you leave for Vegas, we leave Monday morning at really that early.
Monday morning.
Haley talking about pizza at breakfast time, huh? Pizza for supper tonight, I see. That'd be cool, but no, there'll be no pizza tonight. No pizza tonight. Tonight, let's see, today's Tuesday. Probably be a bowl of soup, if I'm lucky. If I have time. If it's anything like last night, then no.
I'm gonna solder my things.
You're gonna solder your things? Okay, whatever works for you, bro.
Do you know what color is that?
No, what do I look? Why would I know? That's your job. But I can tell you how to figure it out.
You look for me, it's right there.
Look where? Where am I looking?
In the speaker. The speaker block?
Yeah, I know. I'm coming over here to get one of these. Because you already gave me the speaker. So, it's got to be one of these two. This is going to be really hard with... All right, hang on. So, am I assuming that the yellow then is the positive on that?
Yes, sir.
So, this is... Yep. That's positive?
Yeah.
All right. I didn't know. All right, let me go back over here. Yeah, I know nothing. Okay. So, what we're going to do is we have... This is going to be really hard. So we have this. This is going to plug into there. So that means...
Now, what color is it?
Brown.
Brown and what?
Tan. Or white. Brown and white.
Brown and white?
Yeah, brown is positive. See, because this is positive here. We always do this when we're looking at a plug. We always fold over the negative. So, there you go. This is a Veloster for those of you guys that are playing at home and don't know what we're looking at. I can put these back. So let's talk about... Oh, hey. Is that a downfiring Kenwood box? Yes, it is. Actually... This is one of my favorite enclosures of all times. And Kenwood, let's be fair, Kenwood copied this idea from JL, and I have no problem with that. But this is in downfiring mode, so it sits like this. You can, of course, spin it the other way, do whatever you want. But it also, hold on, let's do this. It also is designed to sit just like this, and if you put it like that, flip. Now there you go. So you have a nice 112 ported. You can tuck up against the seat. He's got this slidey mat here, so my guess is this is going to roll around. So I thought that it'd be better if we just laid it down flat. But we have enough subwire on there to where we can do anything we want with it. So we have the nice braided wire here. That'll get tucked into this. Or we'll just move the box over. I haven't decided yet. But either way, yes, downfiring. They make this in a 112 and a 212. So it's a pretty cool box. Afternoon, gentlemen. Is it a good idea if I overpower my sub? I have 200 watts Audison SR4 for a Audison AV12 500 watts RMS. You mean underpower? I think you meant underpower. Underpower, yes. Okay, so It's unpower. Yeah, okay, underpower. All right. Let's talk about underpowering your woofers for a minute. Because this is one of those topics that a lot of people, this is how you blow speakers, is when you underpower them. And it's not because you're trying to, it's because you end up wanting more power, you want a more powerful sound than it's capable of doing. Underpowering a woofer will not blow a woofer. How do we know this? Because that means that every time we turn the car on and the volume is at, let's say, 5, speakers don't blow. Technically, you're underpowering them. So if a speaker was to play at rated power 24/7, there would be no volume knob, because you would just put an amplifier in a car, figure out how much voltage is supposed to be at 200 watts, turn that gain to 200 watts, and that's it. Turn the car on, and it's just, and it's the whole time. We have a volume knob, so we turn it down. Technically now we're underpowering the speakers, all of them, because we're not giving them rated power. Maybe get them 5 watts, maybe 10 watts. So we're not giving them a lot of power. So if you put 200 watts to a 500 watt woofer, it'll play all day long. It'll never blow from too much power, because you can't give it enough power. However, you can turn the gain up too high, clip the output of the amplifier, and then just send a really nasty distorted signal to that woofer, which is just going to cause that voice coil to heat up, whether it be a subwoofer or a mid and high, it really doesn't matter. And then that speaker blows. So it's when you take a small amplifier and ask it to be a big amplifier is when you blow stuff. So to answer the question, you can put 200 watts on anything you want, especially if it's a 500 watt, but you have to set the amplifier up properly. And then if it doesn't sound loud enough, then you know I need a bigger amplifier, because you can't ask a small amplifier to put out a lot of power. I often say to people, because I say, hey, would you like it if I took you and put you on a treadmill and automatically walked up and just went doo, 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 and so that you were running, and they say, no, just keep going, and you're like, oh God, what's going to happen? Eventually your legs are going to get out and you're going to face plant onto that treadmill, and that's your speaker blowing, because you're overdriving its capabilities. So go with God. Does it hit the lows, the low lows? It does hit the low lows. We actually, we did a video at some point where we had the 212 version of that in Haley's car that they sent us. And it's big and it's loud and there's a lot going on of that. Like I said, this is one of my favorite enclosures. I love this box. I love what it does. I love that it comes with a grill. It's very utilitarian, and that's what I love about it. It sounds good. It's very affordable, and it's just a cool all around box. Would you agree, Fernando?
100%.
There you go.
Yeah, I like that one.
Underpowering subs is a short way of saying people want to get more performance out of the cheaper amp than possible, and they don't want to pay for upgrade. Yeah, I mean, it's what it is. I think we covered that. All right, so back to the Veloster and what's going on in this guy here. So Fernando's, we're almost done with this. Fernando's actually just putting in the last speaker. So we have a 4-gauge power wire underneath it. This is a full Kenwood system. We've done a Veloster before. We have a really good video on it that we did probably a couple years back. And we really covered this car, so we didn't film it. We could have, but we're really tired yesterday coming back from the JVC training. But this has a Kenwood, so we have the 7-inch XR here, tweeter, factory locations. Same in that. We have the Exelon 6.5 in the back and front. That's what he's working on now, is the last 6.5. He has the 9 series radio that's in the dash right there, connected via an iData link. Now the iData link is important because it is using an iData link RR for connection in the car. iData does not make a harness for this car. iData also came out with a new harness called the SA, which is just a universal harness. And so you take that harness in conjunction with the amp or pack or Metro harness, and you can make your own harness interface with the car. The SA kit for RR does come with the OBD2 adapter, so you can plug that in. And what this will give you is gauges, which he wants because it's got a little turbo on it and it looks cool. So he's like, I want gauges in the dash. And I was like, no problem. RR will give us that. So he'll get the cool gauges. And that's really about all it's doing through RR other than steering wheel controls. I had a Velociter for a loaner. Hated it. Here the new ones are better. Well, this is far from a new one, but I don't have to drive it. So 2020 F450. What harness do I need? Keeping the factory radio. Depends. There's a lot more information that we would obviously need to know. However, pack-audio.com, metraonline.com, as well as idatalink.com or idatalink.maestro.com or idatalink.com Maestro, or just type in Maestro interfacing or access interfacing or pack audio interfacing. Either one of those will take you to the same place or 3 different places, and you can type in your make, model, and year, and they're going to get really specific about what they want, and then you can find out exactly what parts you need in order to do whatever it is you're trying to do, if they are available for your make and model. I, of course, don't know all of them as much as I know a lot of them. There are some other things that you would need to tell me, but that's how that works. What do you recommend if a customer's goal is to be loud? Do you still recommend components or coaxials all around? Ooh, good question. The coaxial is a really good alternative to get loud because you add more tweeters. Because you can do a set of standalone tweeters up top. You can do a coaxial in the bottom. Rockford used to make a set of speakers that came with 2 tweeters and a mid bass that you could mount in that configuration. It was a really cool idea. However, the market kind of changed. Depends on their budget. So if they're trying to do this on a affordable budget, then yeah, it's a good way to get loud for a reasonable amount of money. However, if you look at like T2 Rockfords, they get super loud, they're extremely affordable, and they don't make a coaxial that works in that genre. They make a T1, but like the T1 has a silk soft dome. You want something with a hard dome. Hard dome is going to be louder than a silk soft dome. So like when we do Jeeps, one of the packages we put together is the T2s, because the Rockford T2s get stupid loud for an affordable amount of money. Now, depending on what they mean by loud, you also have louds. So you can do some of those funky components, like for example, Hertz makes Hertz SPL Shows, which is a coaxial loudspeaker. Also, Sundown probably does. I was going to say Ground Zero also makes some of those that are made for like motorcycles and stuff like that. And that's another set of speakers you can check out, is that like both Rockford, Kicker, depending, I don't know what brands you have, but motorcycle speakers actually perform differently than car speakers because they get louder faster and are more efficient because they're in motorcycles, small amplifiers. You kind of see where I'm going with that. And of course, they're just playing out into the air. So, but because they're motorcycles, they are more expensive because the guy buying the Harley for some reason has an unlimited amount of budget. That's how it seems sometimes. But if you get the right mix, then you should be golden. But yeah, if you're trying to do it for budget, then yeah, the coaxial with the tweeter, if it's the right coaxial and the right tweeter, because remember, not all coaxials actually get loud. They just, but metal tweeter or a hard dome tweeter, or just, if you have room in the dash for like one of those loud tweeters with the Neo tweeters, those are nice for that. Any issues running a 3 ohm load on a sub amp? Have a dual 2 ohm sub and a dual 4 ohm sub comp Rs. Other than the woofers themselves are just going to get different amounts of power. 3 ohms is fine because the amplifiers usually do, like if it's a 2 ohm amplifier, then 3 ohm is higher, so you just get less power out of the amplifier. So it'll be okay as far as if we're talking spec for spec. However, one woofer is going to be getting more power than the other woofer. Hey, Dean and Fernando. Hey. Is the Voce tweeter much better than the Prima tweeter? I mean, the immediate answer to that would be yes. However, the Prima tweeter is pretty freaking awesome. If it's one of those things where it's like, oh, you know, I mean, there again, when we're looking at paper, the Voce tweeter is technically supposed to spec out better. However, it's also not been updated in a while, whereas the Prima tweeter is pretty fresh. They also make the high-powered version of the Primas, which is a really nice speaker and a really nice tweeter. I don't think you're going to notice enough to where if you have Prima tweeters and you switch to the Voce tweeters and you don't like up the wattage, I don't think you'd notice a difference. I really don't. That's just my thoughts. Guys, go with iData when possible, even if it's more expensive. I feel that way, however, you said that. But yes, it's true. I mean, the joys of connecting your interface to your laptop and telling it what it is it needs to do and then just putting it in the car. And I will tell you this, when it comes to tech support, me personally, when I call iData, those guys are next level amazing. Case in point, we had an issue recently with a DSR1 iData interfacing into a Volkswagen. So much so that it was like it just wasn't working. I got an update from Rockford, I got an update from iData, still having the problem. Reached out to them, they bumped it up to Canada. Canada, which is where they're at, went out and rented the car. They've had it for 2 weeks. They rented this car for 2 weeks to try to figure out what the problem was. They figured out what the problem was. They figured out what was causing it. They figured out how it got caused. And they came up with a solution for it, okay? That, to me, is some of the most amazing customer service I've ever seen in my life. Like, I have been doing this 32 years. I have never had a manufacturer go, you know what? We're going to go rent that car, and we're going to figure out what the problem is. Nobody has ever done that after the fact. They go, no, man, they've never heard of that before. Huh, that's weird. No, it's not. Go rent the car, figure it out. But these guys actually did that. That's impressive. That is impressive for sure. What DSP affordable works well with pack module amp pros to be specific? All of them will work with an amp pro. It's RCA outputs. It's 5 volt. They'll all do the job. Now, some of the cheaper ones do not like 5 volts. They much prefer a 4 volt, which that does have the ability to switch. There's a dip switch on the side, so you can turn it down to 4 volts. But most of your better DSPs will work. Obviously, since it's PAC being the owner of audio control would say, use an audio control product. And they wouldn't be wrong. That's a really great option. But there are plenty of them, like this shelf here. These are all DSPs. They're all DSPs. There's a lot of good DSPs. A lot of them that are, but it just depends what you want to spend. The PAC Amp Pro has the ability to do 6-channel RCA, 4 or 5 volt, as well as a TOSH output, the digital output. And the nice thing about that is obviously it'll reduce the chance of any noise or anything like that. So if you are looking at a DSP and it has that fiber optic input, you might want to choose to go with a DSP that has that. However, I will say this, if you have a car that has like front and rear beeping, you know, like it beeps out the back for reverse and it beeps out the front for front collision, it will go to 2-channel. So you will not be able to tell between front and back when doing the digital. So if that's important to you, stick with the RCA. Would you be brave enough to flush mount a Pioneer 8-inch screen in a 2021 Jetta? You think it's possible? Stock radio is a tad over 8 inches. Would I do it? No. If you want to do it, go for it. Why not? I mean, if it measures up, it's one of those things where you got to get it. Now, the hard part is going to be, you may want to look for so the better option would be to look for the Pioneer that is just the 8-inch screen without the brain in the back, because the units have to be attached. So there's a clip that goes in and a ribbon cable that connects. So the two units are connected. So that means you actually have to push the unit back into the dash. And I can tell you right now, that is going to be difficult because of the design of the Pioneer. It's HDMI and it's USB-C stick directly out of the top corner of the radio, so that when you have to add an extra inch to the back of the radio in order for those cables to go in. A lot of people break them because they just shove it in there, and there's not a good locking mechanism for them. So it's the front part cosmetically, that's one hurdle. Getting the actual guts in there, that's another hurdle. Wait, let me think. Does the Pioneer have that ribbon? No. You sure? Yeah, no, that's right. Never mind. There is a little 6-inch cable. You might be able to jack it up. Yeah, there is a cable on the Pioneer. Damn, we've done too many of these. That's the Alpine and Kenwood. You might be all right with the Pioneer, to come to think of it, because you could probably move the cage, the radio mounted at an angle, so that you can get room. Yeah, no, go for it. I think it'd be okay.
If you're not, you just buy a new car.
If you're not, just buy a new car. You guys need a bigger workspace. Pickups are very big. Yeah, but today we have a nice small car, so it's like the bonus. I went to Access Site and found a BMW Most interface, but no pricing info. Understandable. Mobridge might be a better place to look for a BMW interface. Also, Audio-Tech Fisher, the makers of Hertz and whatnot, they also make BMW interfaces. They're German. So I would check those two sites.
Makers of Hertz?
Did I say makers of Hertz? Why did I say makers of Hertz? Helix. Sorry, my bad. Letters that are the same, screw. It's like Kenwood and Kicker. I always get those screwed up. Helix. So Audio-Tech Fisher. And then you might want to also check Audison. But those companies all use those, but most of them actually just have Mobridge, which is an Australian company, make the interfacing. But check those sites as well. If you want to get loud, use Hertz SPL shows. If you want to get weird, use headphones while driving. Okay.
I mean, why not? I'll just put a Bluetooth speaker in there.
Yeah. What do you think about the Jail Audio C2 set? Tan as a coaxial and a component, since they have that capacity. Do they lack mid-bass? I honestly don't think we've ever heard a set of C2s. We've heard C1s, we've heard C3s, we've heard the 5s, we've heard the 7s. I don't think we've heard the 2s. Have we?
I don't know.
No, I know the 5s we just did could screw together. And I like that idea. Like Kicker has a set also that does that in their components. It's a cool idea. As far as lacking mid-bass, you're just basically, it's the dust cover. This little dot, 1-inch dot in the center of the speaker. So if that's what you're worried about, them losing mid-bass, I wouldn't stress too much about it. You know, when we played the Morels, and a lot of people commented like, "Oh, it just seems like the mid-bass." Well, yeah, it's understandable, because like you're missing that 2.1-inch dust cap in the center where there's a tweeter. So that's a lot of air. But in that C2, it's a little tiny thing like this. So you're not going to be losing a lot of mid-bass. Okay. So happy Stu's Day. I gotta stop taking in jobs that involve Android tablet radios.
Oh, dude, no. That's a no.
That's a no. That's a no.
For us. For us, it's always
no. But it's always a headache. It's always a headache. No, yeah, like we won't touch those. I wouldn't even touch them with the 10-foot pole. Doesn't even come out. No. It's yeah. Thank you. Yeah, most of customers I get just want loud and are on small budgets. They don't really care about quality. I hate it. Dude, you gotta forge your own destiny, man. You gotta forge your own destiny. You know, you gotta do it in your car. You gotta let them hear it. You know, when you kind of become known for one thing and you don't like doing it, you gotta change it. I mean, you know, we used to do a lot of that stuff, you know, when I started 10 years ago, and I was like, no, man, I ain't doing this no more. You know, we changed it. I made Paul change. I was like, no, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do that. And yeah, it was hard. It was a battle. I mean, every day it was a battle. But we eventually found our customer, and then we leaned into them. We leaned into them by leaning into their friends and their neighbors and everybody, you know, and it just happened.
Now
But
we're a super happy family. No?
No, but wishful thinking. Wishful thinking. Have you ever tried direct live on mini DSPs? No, and I really want to. It's funny though, because I believe the audio control receiver I have at home has direct built into it, and I haven't had time to actually use it, which is funny because I've had it for almost 2 years now, but it's still just set up in basic mode, which is sad. It really is. But no, one of my friends really likes to use that, so hopefully he'll get a chance. Joe likes the mini DSPs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll have to ask him about that if he's ever turned it on. Mm-hmm. That's next level faux show. 5 stars legit. Okay. If competitive sound cue tuning is the perfect sound, why do competitors have a personal preset? Why not just have the sound cue tuning? Ooh, dang. And you, my friend, win the question of the day. There was another one that was really close, but I like this one. And I will give you my take on this because there again, that's what I do. I give you my take. So, I guess when you're looking at it, sound cue is a competition, okay? And when you have to compete in something, there's a set of rules, all right? And Fernando,
Yes.
when you're done washing your hands, come here a second. I want your take on this.
Woo!
So,
You don't want my take.
no, I do. I need your take because, so boxing, you're a boxing fan,
Yes.
okay? So, Mayweather,
Yes.
$1 million Mayweather.
Yes.
How did he win his fights?
Playing smart.
He was a technical fighter, right?
He was a technical fighter.
Played by the rules.
Yes.
So he knew the rules so well. Not saying he's a bad fighter. He's a great fighter because he understood, I just got to play by the rules and I will win.
Well, he said, I know that I have to score points.
Right.
The most points I score, I will win.
So,
yeah.
now let's apply that to what we know about sound quality competitions. It's all about points. Points win the race. So, when you're looking at an SQ competition, they give you the disc or they give you the playlist, and they're looking for specific things for the car to do. Mm-hmm. That doesn't necessarily mean they're looking for the best sound. Because if you've ever had the opportunity to listen to an SQ car, you probably sit in and go, what else you got?
Well, I mean, also every judge is different,
Every judge is different.
So the
even
judge is going to judge Dean's car, they might
well,
not
it might
like
be a different show.
Right.
I mean,
right, yeah.
So the object of the game is to get as many points as possible.
Score sheet. Yep.
Score sheet.
Yep.
That doesn't necessarily mean it's the most enjoyable moment ever. So when you're building an SQ car, you're building it to compete just like NASCAR, just like boxing. You know, the first car to win the race is the guy that gets the checkered flag, 100%. But it's all about the rules. It's all about building the car according to spec and then cheating a little bit. Just saying, you got to cheat a little bit, which I told you all the ways that Peter, Swedish Peter was telling me about all the EMA guys that would cheat. And it was his job to go through and figure out how they cheat. But there again, it's a score sheet. So why do they all have their own tunes? Because they don't necessarily like the way it sounds. They want to get points because points win the race.
Well,
now that's not.
I'm gonna say they're not gonna. It's not like they don't like how it sounds. They love
but
how
it
sounds.
Well,
it's just
I don't know
like
if they.
when
Okay,
you go
well,
into
slow
a
down.
competition.
I don't think they love how it sounds. I think they love to get points, and
Yeah.
so you build the car to points, and then when the race is over, you take the governors off and you have some fun.
Yeah.
And there again,
this is
my opinion, and this is what other guys have told me over the years. So that's just where this comes from.
Yeah.
I don't compete, so and I feel this is a question we've asked Jeff before, and he's given me a similar answer. So there again, that's it. So that's really the nuts and bolts of that. So very fun.
The SQ guy said Dean is wrong.
Well, Dean is wrong. Well, I know Dean is wrong. Dean is always wrong. My plan is to run 7-channel amp, front stage, active, and a rear fill. Run it as a coax. coax, 7-channel for subwoofer. Just scared that they will lack since they aren't considered top tier DSP DSR1. Listen, man, at the end of the day, you build the machine, you build the system, and you see what happens, okay? Don't be afraid, you know? Don't be afraid to try something and fail. That's how you learn. That's how you figure out, oh, I did the wrong thing. We all want to be 100% perfect all the time. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Just build it. Build it. Have some fun with it. You know, and look to tomorrow. You know, if you win, hey, kick ass. Sometimes you don't need to win the first time, though. Sometimes failing is a better move because then you can figure out, oh, well, this is what I need to do differently. If you win, then automatically you think you're perfect, and it's like, maybe that guy was wrong. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But it's okay. It's okay to experiment and try things and see what works. As we say, throwing stuff against the wall and see what sticks.
Now, you have C2s, JLC2s, DSR1. Yeah. Give it a go.
I mean, there's plenty of guys that don't get first place that have a great time competing.
And that's me. I always compete in my mind.
And that's cool. I mean, there's more. So, you know, people always ask, to me, when I go to these sound competitions and I walk around the parking lot, I get to hang out and talk with some of these guys. It's a lot of fun. These guys all know each other. It's camaraderie, and they have a really good time. They usually get together the night before, the ones that know each other, and they do, hey, we're going to drink beer and tune. I'm like, bad idea. How about you just drink beer and then tune in the morning? Or don't tune at all. Yeah. But it's a network. Like, we go to Knowledge Fest because there's a lot of guys there, and it's a lot of fun to hang out and hear their ideas on things. And that's why we like going to these conventions and like MasterTech and stuff like that. And learning is one aspect of it. And it's a big one, but it's only one aspect of it. Competing is no different. You know, you learn as you go, you come up with ideas, you try new things, and that's the fun of it. Being able to tinker and play. It's a hobby. It's not made to be done. If it was made to be done, it would just be home audio, because then you're just like, I'm going to build this theater room. I'm going to put all this expensive stuff in it, and I'm just going to sit and watch movies. We do car audio. Car audio, for like a lot of guys that are listening to this, it's a hobby. It's fun. Next week I want to buy this. Or I'm aspiring to build the perfect system. You do? You know, a lot of people like to aspire to build the perfect system. You know, and then they'll get something. You know, the guy that starts out with the affordable amplifier, I'm cool. Get it. Get the one, but you know, always be looking towards the stars. Shoot for the moon.
Always trying to change, you know. Don't
always try to change. Just don't settle.
Well, I mean, if you start with something that is, entry level, and then you like, oh, you know what? Now I'm ready for the next level, and then the next level.
Because there's always something. There's always the next level. Yeah. You got to figure out where your floor is and get off. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You know. Oh, I just remember I did something wrong.
This one is really good.
Go ahead.
Where do you find list of car audio shows?
You'd have to go to the organization, and then go to their website, and they usually list them there. So like EMA US would have their site, IASCA would have theirs, Mecca would have theirs. What's Clifton's? SQology. Used to have theirs. DB Drag would have theirs. Yep. So it's not like there's one cool site to put that all together. That'd be cool, but different there isn't. Yeah. So, yeah. Like here, they have Florida SQ. It's just a group of guys. So you join that Facebook page, and then they would tell you, you know, everyone would start talking, who's going to this contest and who's going to that contest, and they just kind of, you know, follow each other around and go to all these different SQ things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Customers' ban for hookups and free installs drove me out of car audio 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But now I'm back for my pleasure. Have you ever left car audio?
Yes.
If so, why?
Well, okay, so I didn't technically leave car audio. I left retail car audio for a little bit and went off to be a trainer, not a national trainer, but a a trainer for a
Distributor?
no, it was a rep firm. So a rep firm hired me to drive around and teach. At the time, it would have been Best Buy, Circuit City, and Sound Device, also known as Tweeter. The products that they sold, so it was both home and car. And we had quite a few different products, and so I would drive all over the state and check inventory. And
So what was the reason that you want to go?
why did I like? Because I like training. I like doing that kind of thing. To me, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of driving, and I was young, and it just wasn't working out.
Sleeping in the wind?
No, it just wasn't working out. At the time, it just wasn't the right thing for me. And so, because I was like 19, it just didn't work out. So I went back to retail, and been trying to get back to the other one ever since. But no, but as far as like left altogether, like had no association with 12 volt altogether.
Yeah.
No, I haven't done that. I've been solid this whole time. So, I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where you think about it, and I as I get older, I think about it a lot, and I don't know what I would do.
Oh,
what I mean?
That's hard.
Like, I don't know what I would do. It's just, it's tough.
What's up, Oscar?
I don't want to be part of the old guy club, or the new kid club. Like
I
Oscar.
feel those customers still around.
Which customers?
Like the people that they just want free stuff and they complain a lot and everything. It's like anything in any retail. Right?
Well, in there again, when it comes to, I agree with him. When it comes to the things that ruin
The experience.
the experience, it's the customers. It's hands down. It's the customers. It's the customers complaining about this, that, or the other. Totally ruins the experience every time.
Right.
It's, you're over here, and we double it because we throw YouTube into the mix. So we just open ourselves up for smack me in the face.
Well, I think now, I don't know. Okay, so my question for you that will be, do you think it's worse or it's getting better?
What's that?
Customers. For example, now with so much information in internet, right? So much research that you can do, it is getting easier. The customer coming to the store and it's like, hey, listen, I really want this. I already sold that, so that's what I want.
Well,
Back in the day, you only have magazines.
There was no information back in the day. So as far as if we're looking at the amount of information that's available for people to have, but now we have a different problem. So now we have people that think they know everything, or think they know what they want to buy, or they just go out and buy it, not realizing like that's not going to work in your car. So, I mean, there's always going to be those things that are just like, this sucks. The difference between now and then was back then, you just never said no, and now it's like, yeah, that's just not going to work for me. So I can say no.
So what do you think? Is better? Is getting worse? Is the same? Nothing changed?
I think the amount of grief is the same. Like, I don't think the grief has changed. I think it's the same amount of grief. I think the difference is the attitude of like, listen, I don't have to do that. Like, I don't want to do that. It doesn't work for me.
So the change is actually from the retail side of it.
The change is from the retail side because
so you kind of like learn.
It's just like the gentleman that said, I got to stop taking these Android radios. We just don't do them. We just don't do them. People come in all the time, say, hey, I want to have them. No.
There you go.
We're just, that's not what we're here for.
You say you like training.
Yes.
Will you guys teach an installation course?
Course. Here at 5-Star, probably not, because it's not our facility to do it with, even though I own everything in this facility. It would be something that we would have to, and I say not, I don't know. I mean, we do it a lot when we're at Knowledge Fest. We teach different classes there, and yes, I would love to teach a class in installation, and for industry people, we will be teaching a class at Knowledge Fest this year and all 4 Knowledge Fests about that specific topic of installation. But, you know, for me, I look at it as I would love to do it, but I don't know how or when or what we would do. I would like, you know, for me, it would be something like that you could dovetail in with like mobile solutions to where, you know, we get the opportunity to go out there and teach a specific criteria. That would be fun. I would have a lot of, that would be cool. But as far as like doing one inside of here, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't put enough brain cells behind it as far as when I come up with an idea for something, I go like, I will deep dive into it, and I haven't done that on this because I just didn't think of it as a viable option of something we could do from this particular location.
Probably, yeah. Was buying a laser one of the better shop investments? Where did you learn how to use it? Well, as you do now.
So when it comes to the laser, it's not, as far as shop investments go, I bought it, so it came out of my wallet. And everything, like I said, there's 2 things that Paul owns in this building. He owns the panel saw that's over there, and he owns the air compressor in the bathroom. Other than that, all the tools I've purchased. Even his tools we've purchased through the advertising company because he needs tools in order to do his job. So that's the cool thing about being Fernando. If he needs a tool, he just gets it. So good for him. But as far as there's 2 things I've bought in my career that have changed the game. 2 things. One was an RTA that can measure electrical signal. Hands down, when I bought my first PAA3, game changer. Like immediately went from I'm so badass to oh my gosh, how did I manage to do this for all these years without actually owning something like this? That was one of the biggest game changers of everything, was buying an RTA that'll do electrical. I wasn't even concerned with the audio side of it. That came much later. But just being able to look at the electrical side of things changed a ton. That's why we came out with the IRTA too, because we want everyone to have that ability. But back then, I had to buy that thing. It was $500. Now it's like almost $1,000 because of it's 2022. Yeah. That's why ours is $250. Or what is it? 250? 300? I don't even know what it is. 200? 250? Yeah. Because it's half the price of what I paid for mine 15 years ago, which is awesome. So that was the first tool that I bought that was like, holy shit. The second one, yes, the laser. Now, funny story with the laser, our good friend Christopher McNulty was talking to us about the laser. He had just got the Glowforge, and he was all raging about it. And we were in, at the time, that was our... No, we were in, that was L.A. Was that L.A. or Indy?
No, that was Indy.
It was Indy?
Indy.
Oh, that was Indy.
Yeah,
damn.
I remember.
Yeah, it was Indy. Oh, that's right.
In the highways.
Yeah, so that was Indy. Jason Kranis was there. And they were telling us all about the laser and how cool it was and how it was a game changer. And so when we got back from that trip, I looked into buying a laser, and I was like, holy crap, those things are expensive. So we just kind of sat on it for a little bit, and eventually we bought it, and later that year. And then the biggest problem, we bought it, like, didn't know anything about software, didn't know how the hell we were going to use it, didn't know nothing. We just knew we had to have a laser, and we just went with, just like the new 3D printer we have.
Right here.
Knew nothing about it, don't know how it's going to work, don't even know what software I'm going to need, don't care, got it, we'll figure it out. Laser was the same way. We just bought it and started talking to people after we had it. It sat in the box for 3 months before we even opened it. We opened it up. We made the cool little keychain ruler thing that you can make on a Glowforge. And we were like, damn, that is so awesome. We burned a little 5-star keychain, blew our minds, put it back in the box, and it sat there for another month. I went off to do a show at Kicker, film the Kicker documentary. Yeah. And while I was there, I was talking to my buddy Joe, and he's like, dude, there's got to be an Apple program you can use. It's super simple. I think you're overthinking this. And I was like, I was totally overthinking it. Did a little bit more research. Found an app for $25 that could easily show me how to I could design with. And I haven't looked back. Haven't looked back at all. If anything now, it's like, I got to design that in the laser. And I automatically start thinking, all right, so how much time is that going to take to do that? and what can I do, and how hard is it going to be, and what do I want it to look like. So you start thinking differently about the products, the things you're going to make. But I mean, in hindsight, looking back, like, you know, trying to do something like this, the only way you can do this is with a laser. Like, there's not anything other. You can't even 3D print that. I mean, it's not going to work. So,
but I stick with this.
Yeah, but I mean, so yes, those are two of the most important tools that I've gotten in my career for sure.
You can pick it up, DNFtooldrawer.com.
Yeah, good advertisement.
Yes. Also, don't forget, you can check on morelhifi.com for all your needs about car audio. Or here on Instagram, Morel_America, guys. Check them out.
There you go. That's why you make all the big bucks. Oh yeah. So I don't even know. Whoa. TMRTA and distortion detector tools changed my ways.
Yeah,
for sure.
So he said, yeah, I use my DMRTA all the time, but my coworkers say it's a waste of time. They just want to stick high-low box and call of the day.
Well, yes, and that's the thing. Evolution is part of life, depending on what you believe in, unfortunately. And self-evolution, I think, is very important. I think you have to constantly push yourself into positions that are, or into places or into things that are different than what you're used to. Like standing up in front of a crowd and teaching a class. The first time we did that, this guy right here was probably ready to kill me for making him do that. Like, I'm like, dude, you're going to love this. We're going to have a blast. And he's like, no, I'm not. This is going to totally suck. And not only that, the first class we ever taught was like full of like 350 people were in the room.
My God,
and this poor guy's up there going, I'm pressing the next slide.
But that's what
and I introduced him, I'm like, and here's Fernando. And he's like, crickets. So, you know, but I've forced him to do stuff like that, and it's worked out really well. And I would like to think he's a better person for it. And I force myself to do things that I don't want to do, because there might be a reward there that we're just not into. So when it comes to I don't want to use the tool or I don't want to do this, that's just lazy. That's just lazy and bored. I mean, you're just going through the motions. And sometimes going through the motions is exactly what you need. Other times going through the motions, I can't stand it, man. You gotta jump outside of that box. I mean, we went to when we went to Mobile Solutions, you know, he got to play with the aluminum. I've ordered all the stuff. So we have a brake at some point is going to get here, or a bender, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Metal bender. So we have one of those that's supposed to be here soon. We ordered a ton of pieces from
aluminum,
of just really cool stuff from Mobile Solutions. We got a ton of stuff that we haven't,
the small animal.
We got a ton. So we got to play with all that and get that out. But we've just been so busy since we got back. Yeah. It's all planned for November, December. So
I mean, like you say, we just got the 3D printer. You know? So it's one of those things.
And there again, we put ourselves in a situation we've never done before. It wasn't necessary. You know, we were there to do one thing, but we ended up doing something totally different, just because the opportunity presented itself. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Whatever you need, whatever you guys need, we'll do it.
My hands are big.
And yeah, I know. I've been telling you that for years. And we did it. And with that, we learned new things. Yeah. Or we got refreshed, or I had forgotten. Yeah. And it was like, wow, this was fun. So there again, you know, you can always use a refresh. You can always do new stuff if you're willing to. Yeah. There would have been plenty of guys that just would say, no, we're here to do this, man. That's all we're doing.
All right. Do you turn customers away that don't believe what you tell them? My body wants his system to sound like mine. It's a 3-way Morel, but refuses to spend the money. What do you do?
So what a lot of these business guys refer to it as is firing the customer. What I like to think of it as, you have to have a healthy understanding of what things are capable of doing. And I'm not here to force you into doing something, and then you should not be here forcing me to do something for you. Me working on your car is not the greatest pleasure of my life, even though a lot of people think that it is. I enjoy working on people's cars. I've been doing it for most of my life, more than 2/3 of my life. Shut up. And so that's what I do. So to turn somebody away is not high on my list of priorities, but also you have to have a reality and be part of it, of what you're trying to do. If someone comes into me and they're like, hey, I want to do this, I'm like, all right, that's cool, and I'll do it for them. I don't want to spend that much. And I'll say, okay, then you really don't want to do this. Let's have a talk about what you can do. And then I'll present that to them, and if they're still not on board and they're still trying, it's like, hey,
the worst is when they try to argue with you, right?
Well, they can argue all they want.
Stuff, so
and then I just, it's like anything else. Like, if you want to argue with me about it, that's cool. You can argue with me about it. I'm going to do it. I
want a Lambo for $5,000.
And, you might be able to look in far enough, but you could probably get a Matchbox. I can hook you up with a Matchbox Lambo. You could probably get 2 for $5.
Okay.
So... But no, if something like that where your friend comes to you and says, I want my car to sound like yours. And say, all right, well, it's $5,000. And they go, I don't want to spend $5,000. And then you really don't want your car to sound like mine because I put this much work and money into it to sound like this. There's no cutting corners. Well, no, there's no well. This is not a well moment. This is not a well, a spring. This is not a body of water moment. This is what it takes to do this. If you don't want it, you don't want it. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. I will sleep at night. You're the one that might have problems knowing that you didn't want to do it. But, you can offer an alternative. I can't get it to sound like mine because you don't want to spend the money. However, I can do this.
Yeah.
So there's always that possibility.
Yeah.
Second, I felt at MSC training, it was huge reinforcement and everything I knew about tuning and system design with a little extra new techniques.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. A lot of times, like, I go to training knowing that what I'm walking into is probably something they're going to tell me I already know. But there again, it's also nice to be like the nuggets, as they say, and not the poop nuggets. It's the good nuggets, more like Reese's Pieces, that kind of, oh, yeah, that's yummy. Those are great. A new way of thinking about something. If you always turn left, and someone teaches you how to turn right, and it's like, oh, I didn't know you could turn right. That's freaking awesome. So
just like Oscar say, the extra little techniques that you learn. Oh yeah, totally. It's awesome.
Firing the customer. Never heard of that, but I love it. Thank you. So one of the guys that we're good friends with is Monster by Rangel. Has a huge YouTube channel. If you speak Spanish, you're not watching his channel. You should, because that's all he speaks, for one. So he watches it more than I watch it with the sound off just because it's fun. But we were having a conversation one day because he was kind of like, there's these guys that come to me and they want me to do this stuff and I don't want to do it. And they think it's like I should be discounting them or I should be doing this because, it's the honor of working on their car. And I was like, that's the wrong idea. Don't get me wrong. When I was younger, I used to do Buccaneers cars. I used to do the Lightning's cars. I used to do a lot of these cars for a car concierge. And he would come to us, and at the time, my boss was like, oh, the honor of working on a Lamborghini. And he would discount it. And we would spend so much time working on these cars. I'm like, why are we doing this? It doesn't make any sense. There's no honor in working on a Lamborghini for a discounted price. These guys have money. These are the guys we're supposed to be charging money for. Not the guy that has, the freaking Honda Civic. It's not how it works, but he didn't see it that way.
Right.
And so, I was talking with Ricardo, and I was like, if a guy comes in and he's like, dude, you should be honored to work on my car. Immediately I'm turned off, and I'm like, I'm not honored to work on your car. This is, this is what it is, and this is how much it costs, and this is how hard it's going to be. I'm impartial to it because it's just what it is, but I don't also feel like we need to take every job that walks in the door, and we don't, because some things are not a good fit. Like, if the guy starts out the conversation and goes, I want you to build this, and I look at it and I go, it's not something that I can have built by, the crew of people that we have build different things for us, or I just think it's going to be a hassle. I'm like, we're the wrong guys. We're the wrong guys. I'm like, what do you mean? We just don't do that. I do have some people I can refer you to that might be able to help. Well, no. Well, you clearly don't, because we don't do this. It's not that I'm not willing to work with them, but I also have I had a customer that wasn't a customer, sorry, I had a potential client. That's the other thing too. We don't refer to them as customers, potential clients, because, you're not technically a customer until something happens. Over there, you're just a potential. you're just a potential customer or a potential client. I had a potential client want to argue with me about how we were going to do his install, in the sense he wanted us to do something that we don't do as a policy. He's like, I want you to do this. And I said, we don't do that. He goes, well, what would you do? I said, we do this. And he goes, I don't want it like that. I said, well, that's okay. We don't have to do it. Well, no, you got to do it my way. No, I don't. I don't have to do it your way. We don't do it that way. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. And he was mad at me, and I was just like, dude, it's okay. It's not a big deal. I can't get anyone to do it that way. I understand that. And you're not going to get me to do it either. But getting mad at me isn't going to make it any easier, because it's just going to be as much of a turnoff for you as it is for me. So I'm being polite and explaining to you how we would do it. You don't want it done that way. That's okay. It's not the end of the world. It's all right. It's all right. Or if you just see a customer that is truly just going to be a problem, man.
Right.
Hey,
yeah.
I would gladly move on.
All right.
Plus, I'm old, so I'm cranky. Get off my lawn, kids. Shut up.
I'm walking close to him like, move! Okay. I watch you guys all the time, and I like your attention of detail. I have a 2012 Ford Fusion Sport with the original touchscreen and the 10-speaker system.
Cool.
What amplifier do you recommend?
Well, there again, it depends what you're trying to do. What are you going to change out other than the amplifier? Because if you're just going to replace out the amplifier, it's not going to work like that, because that factory screen doesn't integrate well with just another 10-channel amplifier. If you're planning on replacing the radio, since it's a 10-year-old radio, iData, if it has the 8-inch touchscreen in the dash, iData may, because they have the MFT2 now, which is for the older Ford vehicles, along with the MFT1, which allows you to pull those radios in and out, keep your factory bezel, just put in a shallow chassis aftermarket 7-inch screen. So that would be something I would check into, so you get modern like CarPlay, Android Auto, or something like that. Now from there, if you want to change out the amplifier to a more modern amplifier, 10-channel, now you have to think about what are those 10 channels going to power. If we're just doing a set of components up front, coaxials in the rear, and a sub, that's like an 8-channel amplifier, possibly a 6 and a mono, or a 5-channel where you're using 4 of the channels to power the front 4 speakers, the radio to power the rears, and then the 5th channel to power the subwoofer. That's what we're doing in this Velocitor, is we're using the 902.5 from Kenwood. So this had the whole dimension system in it with the multi-channel amplifier. All of that came out. We put a new Kenwood in the dash, the 901.5. The 901.5 is running the tweeters and the mid-bass. The radio is going to be crossed over and actively powering the rear. And then there's a sub coming off of the 5th channel for that. So that's a really nice way to upgrade. And this is a 2013, so it's like 1 year newer than your car. Yeah. I'd like to upgrade system with factory head unit. Okay. I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 2012. I would say
30 days.
Is possible.
30 days of Christmas coming soon.
30 days.
I hope it's not going to be 30 days. I don't know. We gotta look into it. As soon as we get back from SEMA, we gotta start digging into that.
Probably it's going to be like 1 day.
One mega day.
1 mega day.
Yeah.
You participating. If you're not, you're out.
You need help.
You're out.
You need help.
I know.
That might be your job at SEMA when you see our guys. All right, you guys want to be part of the 12 Days of Christmas? What are you going to donate? Hey, listen, guys. I'd like to stay and chat for the rest of the day. Right. However, it's Tuesday. We got to get back to work. You guys have a great rest of your day.
Bye, guys.
We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye. You cleaned up the whole thing in the amount of time it took to connect.
Wow.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
It's slow.
It is slow. Pro tip of the day: steal your wife's Tupperware.
Steal it?
Steal the wife's Tupperware. You know, the Tupperware right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you steal the wife's Tupperware, and then every time you're taking something apart, you grab a Tupperware bowl and you put it inside of it. So we have a bunch of these, and as we're taking the cars apart, we you know, so here's another one right here from the last car we took apart. We got a couple of them. This is just screws. Let's go up there. SEMA, first week right there. Woo, next week. Oh, box training. We're going to that. We're not doing it. We actually have to go to it, and we're back Saturday. Yeah.
Hey,
Fernando,
yes.
what do you want?
One of those boxes, toppers.
This?
Have a black one, a black lid.
Probably. Yeah. Hola.
Hey.
Friday Eve. I know, I need like Saturday Eve so that we can go home and get out of here. You almost done, man?
I'm taking my time.
You are taking your time.
Just to see if everything is right.
Woohoo! Box train, hopefully the new 13 HD screen are there and y'all can report back on picture quality. The new 13-inch HD screens. I honestly don't know what it is. I mean, we're going as a favor, I guess would be the easiest way to say. I mean, what would you call it? Do a nice gesture? I don't know. They're going to talk about Viper alarms, so
Yeah.
I don't really. It's not really my speed,
Like
so.
support. That's it. Support it.
Supporting our local reps.
Support it. I didn't even know what I did.
I have no idea. What's the name of the grounding kit you guys use? positiveground.com. You can also, if you're a Metra dealer, you can also get it from Metra. But when you go to their website sells exactly this kit. It sells these washers. It sells these bolts. It sells that nut. And it sells these three pieces here. The nut driver, their cool cleaning brush, and then their stepped drill bit that they make. And I think they also have the jelly on there in a glass. But that's it. That's all they sell. So now, if you're a Metra dealer, Metra sells the whole kit too. So you don't have to buy it from them. Yeah, it goes back up there on the shelf. Cool. No drywall screws? No, honestly, I try to, use those to screw in the woofers. I'm joking. The only thing we use drywall screws for is when we're doing the blown PVC. Because the drywall screws work really well, and that's usually when we're from the bottom up. Drywall screws work really well when holding blown PVC together because they flush in really nice. But other than that, we don't really use many drywall screws for anything.
Yes.
How many drywall screws do you need for my ground? Oh, you need this one. You need these right here. This is your ground screw. You need that guy. That's your ground right there. Now, funny thing is, I bought a box of these 3-inch drywall screws when I started 10 plus years ago, and I still have them. These were for building this shelving to screw 2x4s together, but we had some left over, and we're like, hey, that's cool, let's put them in there. But never use them. These I like to use, like I said, when you're putting two pieces of PVC together, pre-drill the holes, and then you can put this in, because I use it more for the strength. Subwoofers all get machined real screws. So this is the sub screw. So these, for screwing in to wood and stuff like that, they get those screws. So this is all different screws depending on what's going on. So this is a self tapper, and this is a 1-inch, a 3/4, and a 1/2. Probably haven't got a box of self tappers in 5 or 6 years. They just kind of take up space, which kind of sucks, but it has a pan head, so it's got a big head. And then directly below it, now these we use a lot for building Amprex and stuff, is the pan head pointing tip. And then below that is going to be, there again, a self-tapper. And these never get used. And then these get used a lot, like when screwing amps and stuff like that, because they make a half-inch version here. And then they make, which don't ask me why, they come all the way over here, but they make a 1/4-inch version. This little guy here, which is really cool. So that's like super small. So that one's really nice when you have something that's really thin and you need to screw it down. You don't want it to poke through the other side. But then like all of these are screws. So these are going to be M3s. Yeah, so these are all different like M3 screws. And then these more M3s. So, more M3s. Somewhere in here, there's the M4s. So these are M4s. M5s and M6s are all through here. And this is like the inserts. So you have your M6 here, your M5 here. And then somewhere in here, I don't know where they're at, is a set of those for M4s, which I bought. But there again, I don't know where it's at. And then if we're, here they are. So these are little M4 ones, which are cute. So I know I have them, I just don't know where they're at most of the time. And then like you have these guys here, which are those. These work really well for Sentra too. Like if you need to make something that comes in and out. I know they're, for plywood and MDF and whatever, but they work really well in Sentra. If we need to make a panel that needs to come in and out a bunch of times, we'll put those in. And then we also have these things that absolutely suck, which every now and then they're the right tool for the job, so we have them. And then these are really cool. So these work good when you have to, like when you're putting the Stinger subwoofer enclosure on the back of the car. They give you the nutserts, these, but they're a real pain in the butt to get lined up and all that, and it's way cooler to just use these guys. And these are made to go into metal. These aren't for drywall. So you can put this in and create a nutsert that way. And then we also have a bigger one. So this is an M6, this is an M5. And these are all load resistors that before audio control came out with load resistors, we would just buy the load resistors. So every now and then you got something strange, we can just test. This is all the colored heat shrink. When we're doing passive crossovers in the door, this is that 6-channel clip. So these are just, these are regular automotive waterproof clips, but we also have it in a 2-channel, we have it in a 4-channel. For some reason we have it in a 5-channel. That was an accident, I think. And then these are the little XC or CT, whatever they are. There's all those sizes. And then there's some just random 4-pin connectors off of like iData harnesses that every now and then are cool. Little tiny shrink wrap. Would you do something strange for some change? Car audio related, of course. Yeah, it just depends. Yeah, sure. XTC, I think. I don't know. You know what? Does it even say it on here? No, this is the XT. This is an XT. Yeah, whatever. There's like 3 different sizes of those. Oh, these are Dean's connectors. So we got some of those too. And then depending on, like, these are all grommets. So we have different grommets here. And then there's rubber grommets too. So these work really well when doing backup cameras. These are fuse taps. So they don't get used all that often, but we have them. Most of the time if we're doing a fuse tap, we're using these guys. These are way cooler. But every now and then this won't fit, so we have these for an emergency. But we have all the different fuses. Yes, reverse polarity will be tonight. We are doing reverse polarity night and side jag. Side jag tonight will be wrapping up Game of Thrones. So if you haven't watched it, we are going to probably lean heavily into that. And then these are all like the connectors, various connectors that we use. The sun is just bleaching this thing out, which really sucks. So I'll probably have to replace that soon. Ferrules, all different size ferrules. But yeah, and then all the different shrink wrap and stuff. Yeah, XT30s. Love them. Got them. Fernando digs them. So how is everybody doing today? How many guys are going to SEMA? What's up, Fro? On those threaded inserts, what glue do you use when screwing them in? You don't really need glue for the threaded inserts. They'll thread in fine. Those you use a 1/4-inch drill bit for. That's an M5, and they'll go right into plastic. Let me tell you what. They will not go, like a 1/4-inch is too small for ABS, but for Sentra it's just a hair too small. So when you put it in, it will torque right in, and you have to be careful because actually you can break them. That's how good they bite into it. When you're doing 1/4-inch ABS, you actually have to go up to the next size and or file out the hole a little bit, because they do not like ABS. For ABS, we've switched out to the thermal inserts that we use, because they work great for acrylic and ABS because it's such a hard material. But that's these guys here. I think we were showing these the other day. But these thermal inserts work a lot better for the ABS as well as definitely for acrylic. They go right in, and then they melt in, so you don't have to worry about it coming free, which is cool. It's cool. So for those of you guys that are like, oh, what screw? So on Amazon you can buy these cool packs like this that come with just tons of screws. So this has M2s, 3s, and 4s, and all the nuts. I like to buy this because what this does is then I can figure out which ones I'm using the most, and I'll just order that, and then they'll go over into that bin over there. So that's the thought behind buying something like this, which is really cool. Plus, let's be honest, how many M2s are you gonna use? But when you need an M2, man, M2 is the bomb. They're so tiny. Which is really cool, because like when you're building stuff, something that small, man, that is really nice. Like, and then you add this to one of those brass heat inserts. You can make some really delicate stuff that comes apart super cleanly. So yeah, big fan. When we did those tweeter pods last week or the week before, whenever we did them not too long ago, that was the saving grace, was those, because we could get those in and add that to it.
So in the Dodge Ram,
that was the Dodge Ram. Yeah, that's what it was.
You have the battery right here, and it has the factory plastic holding the battery.
Yep.
I made 2 holes, use those rivets, thread it, and M5s, make the heaviest holder, and done.
Right. Yeah. So those are kind of cool. So it's one of those things where, when you're lonely at night and you're on Amazon and you just kind of start typing stuff in, and that's how we find. Totally fall asleep with the phone. drop it onto the ground all the time. Yeah. So, not going to SEMA, but several of my crew are. Bummer, Fro. I'll catch SEMA on YouTube. Yes, you will. For those of you guys that are not going to SEMA, for one, I'm sorry.
So sorry, guys.
For those who are going, make sure you head over to the audio control booth.
Yeah, that's right.
And we'll be there. Just look for the easily to find Rockford booth, and just keep going straight back. Here is what we're going to be doing for you, so that you guys that don't get to go to SEMA will get to experience all of that at SEMA. First off, we're going to be there with audio control. Special shout out to them. They do have new products that we're going to show you while we're there. A couple new products, so you get to see those. A lot of you guys are going to be, oh, that's so cool. So there are new products from audio control that will be highlighted at SEMA.
Right.
I don't know if we're going to make any announces other than, and they're there to show, so you'll actually get to see them.
Gotcha.
So
yep.
I don't know if we're going to announce any of the other other products that aren't going to be there, but you'll definitely get to see that.
Yeah.
So we're going to get there Monday, and then Monday night we're going to be doing some kind of a live at some point, but make sure you're here on Instagram as well as YouTube, so that's where all the content will be created. And then every day, so the show starts Tuesday, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the show ends at 5 o'clock, somewhere between 5:15 and 5:30. We're going to be going live from our hotel room with a what we saw best of show day. So we are going to set up a live streaming rig in the hotel room. Our hotel is connected to the convention center, so we're going to run over as fast as we can, plug in our phones, and upload the cool stuff that we saw that day, so you guys can kind of see what it was that what we got to see. So we'll show you some pictures, talk about what we got to see. So you guys will all get to see what is going on daily at SEMA. We'll be doing it Friday, because Friday we got to get out of there and catch a plane, and we'll be out of the hotel room. But
we'll probably come.
But you'll be Saturday. You'll see what we missed on Saturday. So that's cool. Also, Tuesday night. That's right. Tuesday night we're going to be at the Orca Vibe House. We could just call it the Focal Vibe House, even though Moscone and Gladen will be on hand. And we're going to show you the new products that they have.
Yeah.
So that'll be
a surprise.
Tuesday night. So you'll get to see what they got coming out for there. And of course, all of the other stuff that is there, we will, we're going to do a show floor tour at some point. Probably not Tuesday, probably Wednesday or Thursday we'll do a show floor tour. Maybe we'll save it for Friday. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. We'll do a show floor tour of the 12-volt section. If you want to see what is there, you can head over to SEMA and check out the map, and you can kind of get an idea of what is there, what brands are present. That way, during some of the live shows, that's why we'll probably wait to do the live tour. You guys can kind of tell us what it is you want us to really highlight on, because there's a lot of stuff there, and some of the guys are chatty, some of the guys aren't. So if there's a brand that you see, you're like, I want you guys to stop by and see what's new there.
Yep.
Now, we'll do that. Plus, of course, we will take as many clips of the new stuff as we can. So maybe Saturday or Monday, we'll do a what we saw new for those of you guys. So even though some of you guys aren't going to SEMA, we'll make sure that you get as much content from SEMA, the world's biggest car show. I said that. I don't know if it's true.
If you want to check the app or the website, mobile electronics is on the North Hall. So
yeah,
because they have different ones, but yeah.
M5s and M6s. Yep. Prime has turned into a three. Prime has turned into a three or more affair. Oh, shipping. Yeah. Wait, can you show the ABS inserts again? Sure. Those we have to get over on DNF Tool Drawer. Like when we're doing the DNF Tool Drawer stuff, we want to make sure we've used it for a while before we recommend it as you got to do this. So, hang on. Let me flip this guy around.
What inserts?
So, these are the thermal inserts that we use on ABS. This is the pack. There again, this is a nice variety pack that you can get on Amazon that comes with M2s all the way up to M6s all the way over here, and they sell a special tool. So this is it, and then they sell a special tool. Always close the container so if it falls on the ground you're not going, damn it. They sell these. This is a special tool for it, and that little piece sits on top of here, which in turn, if you have a soldering gun, it replaces the soldering tip. And so just picture it like that, and you set it right on top of there. You could probably just set it on your tip if you wanted to, but I'm not going to. And I just ordered a new set because I broke the little M2 one I was using the other day. Totally broke my heart. And these are like $10. You can find a set of these for like $10. So if you have a soldering gun, you don't need a really hot one. 450 is 450 to 600 is really all you need, depending on how fast you want to do it. But yeah, that's that system there. It's pretty cool.
And then you got this one.
Oh yes. Did you have a 1/4-inch hole? Yeah. So hold on. Back it up a minute. Pull that out before you put it in there. So for those of you guys that were asking about like the ones for Sentra, so this is that standard one that you'd see for wood and whatnot. 1/4-inch hole. This is an M5. It's a little tight, so you got to kind of work on it, but you got to go slow because they're not made of really thick metal. So if you go, you want it to tighten up and pull flush. So there you go. It pulls nice and flush. Now this is 1/4-inch,
yeah,
so it is going to stick out on the other side, but 1/2-inch obviously works a little better. And there you go. You can make this panel nice and removable. So there so that's that. You're my hero. ABS 3/16 or 1/4 for fabricating an amp rack or use brackets by battery post. Thanks again, Peter Fernando. Keep it. We use 1/4-inch. 1/4-inch is the preferred method of what we're going to use. Yeah, quarter inch is really all you need. Yeah, Amazon. It's all Amazon, man.
Everything is Amazon?
Yeah, that's the new 3D printer. Yeah. So those brass fittings are actually made for inputting into plastic, like 3D printed plastic and stuff like that. There again, we're just, you got to have fun. Way too busy work for SEMA. Hey guys, we want to make sure you guys get some fun too. I mean, the whole purpose of us going out there, yes, we would like to do nothing more than sit on our butts and just like say hi to people. But that's not going to happen, man. Yeah, that'll never happen.
What's the fun for that?
Yeah, sound great. Thank you both for SEMA updates. We want to have as much fun as we can. What's your favorite event you go to? I think we'll save that until the end of the year.
By the end of the year, probably we can say what that's going to
check out those slate fibers.
Yeah.
We've seen them. Dad joke of the day. Oh, do you remember the joke that what was that joke?
He was talking about shirts, right?
Was it shirts? No.
He was talking about shirts, and he's like, "Oh, I used to own a shirt."
Yes. What did the shirt say?
I don't remember.
You just literally told me you remember.
No, I mean.
Oh, that's so sad. All right, I'll see if it pops in my head before.
Yes.
Focal and fun. What's up, guys? I'm not going. Oh, that sucks,
but
man.
Then the shirt doesn't fit me. Oh, I can't wear that shirt anymore. And he's like, why? Because I'm not a medium anymore.
Oh, I used to be a fortune teller or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty sad.
I had a shirt that says I was a fortune teller.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you guys stick to the 12-volt section, or do you check out the whole show? We're going to check out the whole show. So, yeah, no, it wouldn't do us any good just to stick to the 12-volt section. What we'll do is the 12-volt section will get its own day that we'll do live. We'll walk around kind of like we do at Knowledge Fest, and we'll show you all that fun stuff. So that'll be a rather long show. But, no, what we're going to do is how we like to attack it is we go to one hall per day. So we get like an hour for lunch and something like that. So we'll go over and we'll walk that whole part of the show, take pictures and fun stuff like that. And so like the West Hall or the East Hall or the Magnolia Hall, whatever the hell they're calling these things, we're going to highlight that hall per day. So there's 4 halls. So we should get all the halls with the time we're there for you guys. So no, we're there's the paint and body hall, there's the new car hall, there's a lot of hauling going on. Very little food, but lots of hauling. So, no, we want to make sure you guys get to see the whole thing. And, of course, outside and stuff like that. And we're filming A Boring Life at the same time. So, even if we miss something in the live recap show, it'll make it into the 2023 next year when we get ready to go again. It'll make it into that recap show a year later. Right. And we will have fun. We will have fun. We'll be thinking of you, but we'll have fun anyways. Inserts for ABS? Good question. Yeah, no, that's them.
That's it.
Love those thermal inserts. Used them for the first time last week. They're awesome. Pro tip when using thermal inserts. Okay, and this is really important. 100% important. When you're getting ready to use them, make sure you have yourself a small set of needle nose pliers handy. Okay? Because they like to fall off the tips of the soldering gun. The whole idea is to like hold the soldering gun straight like this and bring your product down onto it. But every now and then you get creative and you think you're going to enter it like this and it falls off. And then like a goofball, you reach down and pick it up. Not realizing this thing is red freaking hot. And then you like Ark of the Covenant yourself, totally Indiana Jones type stuff. So always have one of these handy so you can pick it back up, put it back on the tip and push it in. Never touch them. I mean, you can, but you'll only do it once. Ask me why I know. Don't. Where do you get the tool? Oh, Amazon. Everything's on Amazon, man. Sorry. Amazon. I'll add it to DNF Tool Drawer maybe next week when we're just sitting around doing absolutely nothing. Did you still have the Audio Frog 4 channel? Yeah, we have both Audio Frogs. So we have a full complement of mono and 4 channel that are going to go into Fernando's car in the lab. So those are going to replace. Once we get back and everything slows back down to normal. Once So the current amps in the lab amps are coming out, and they're gonna audio frogs are getting put in. So that's pretty awesome. So, is there such a thing as a 4-seat tune? If so, can it be had in a Sequoia for 20 grand? I don't know, man. I mean, you mean like where everyone sits? Well, I mean where everyone sits in the car and it sounds like it's coming from the center. I mean, if you put a big center channel in it, I suppose that would do it. Man.
Put speakers on the headdress.
Yeah. Probably not for 20 grand. I mean, just thinking about like the Cadillacs and the Macintosh system and the Grand Cherokee, that both don't really sound that good according to some people. I have never heard them. I don't know. I feel sometimes that they do sound really good, but people are like, oh, those things suck. Anyways, they do that for much more. So I don't know. 3D printer, good times. At some point, once we get back to normal. My two favorite guys at Car Audio.
Danny, what's
up, Dan? Oh, so MasterTech Expo is coming up here. We've been talking about it. You can now go on and get your tickets.
Yeah,
register or do all that fun stuff. Stay tuned, because I'm going to say safely 2 weeks, so not next week as it's SEMA. The week after that, we're going to have... we're going to drop the Clean Wire Challenge that we are doing with him at MasterTech Expo. There's going to be 8 competitors. So there's going to be 4 competitors each day. And the cool thing is you'll have to submit some kind of information. We don't know yet. I have to write all that down. But I think you can register now for it, though. But either way, we're going to pick 8 competitors. And those competitors will get their tuition waived, so they get in for free. You still have to pay for your hotel. You still have to pay for your plane flight, but which will be part of the ability to win. Like, you have to prove to us that you've bought the hotel or the plane flight in order to be. If you win, then you have a certain time frame to which you have to show us either the plane receipt and or the hotel receipt, so that. Probably the plane receipt. I'm not, because hotels are easy to cancel. Probably the plane receipt, so they know you are coming. But there's going to be 8 winners for that coming soon. So,
yeah.
How big is the 12 volt at SEMA? Still popular or shrinking? Last year it was small because of COVID. That's like if you just watched the video, you saw we had the masks on, so it was kind of small. This year, it looks like the whole hall is full. Yeah. So plus we have the big guys back. So Rockford is back, Kicker is back. Metro has a really good booth. Mobile Solutions has a really good booth. Diamond Audio has a really big booth. So there's a lot of people. Yeah. It seems almost double the size of like a Knowledge Fest. So it's still impressive. Yeah. Dean, thought not Car Audio. Could you do a show on photography one day? It's funny. We did do a show on how to take pictures at a car show. So we went to a car stereo show and we talked about different techniques to do that. But yeah, actually, the class that we've been teaching at Knowledge Fest for the last forever has been on taking video and or pictures. All last year we did a class on how to take pictures to post for your social media page. It was a competition, so it was a class with a competition. So at the end, you had to, volunteers got to get up and take a picture of a car that we brought that was labeled, had stickers, 5-star. It was cool. They were all orange, which was funny how that worked out. But then the class voted on the best picture, and they won the car. So you got a really cool gift. But no, I would be more than happy to do that. And then everyone would just complain, I thought this was car audio. What are you doing talking about this? I want to see other YouTubers' cars filmed like...
Oh, you?
I don't know who they are, but sure. Hello, gentlemen. Yesterday when I asked about the JL audio components, I made a mistake. I have the C3s, LOL. Have y'all played with those? Yes, we have. But I got nothing. They're nice speakers. Yep, very true, Dean. Learn the hard way.
Yeah.
I think I need to babysit that 4-channel while you're away. No, Christian. Hey, don't forget my birthday is Sunday, and yes, I accept amps as present. Wow, you're really pushing that one. The sound on those trucks, not good. Oh, right, the SUVs. We'll just tear it out and make a full custom interior, bro. I know you can do it. What have you guys 3D printed? Not a thing. Zero. The box is still sealed. It's not sealed. We took the top off. We just got it in. We have way too much stuff to do right now with between the JVC training we just did and then getting ready to go to SEMA. So it's just sitting there right now. It's my project for November, December, more than likely December. To figure out what it is it'll do and get it going and whatnot. So I have a 2020 Ram Bighorn. The backdoor speakers are very weak in mid-bass. The kicker front and rear now. How can I fix this? It's the factory radio? Are you still using, like, what?
Okay, but like he wants bass on the rear speakers.
Well, you can't because they don't put it out.
No.
I mean, it's a mid-bass.
Yeah.
The front door is a subwoofer. The rear door is a mid-bass. So the signal isn't there to be had. The only way you can do that is to get a DSP, do something like an Amp Pro or a DSR1 AR connection. Actually, it's a 2021, so that's going to be an Amp Pro. And go full active out to DSP or DSP amplifier or something like that, where you can customize the sound.
Change stock kickers for something that actually has more mid bass.
Well, I mean, you know, Jesus, those CS, man, those things get down and boogie. They don't need a lot of power, and they pump it out. But if it's a factory output and you change nothing else, it's not going to work. Because I can tell you, man, anybody and anyone that has done it, they'll testify and say, yes, you cannot change out that factory system with aftermarket stuff and expect to have a good result. It is going to sound like absolute crap. It's made for the speakers that were in there. Dodge and is really like on point with like, don't do this. It doesn't work. It always sounds bad. You had a small magnet. Efficient speaker, you put a bigger magnet, less efficient speaker, doesn't like it. It's going to sound like poo. That front speaker, subwoofer, sounds great. Take it out, no highs. It's just not a fan of time delay. Perfectly okay. Not everybody is. But I guess I would ask is whose time delay have you heard? Because time delay done properly you shouldn't even notice. Like, it should just do what it does. But some people like sound coming from the left. Everywhere. You know, or do you recommend 100 watts or 120 watts RMS for the D4 amp? The rear deck I have is a C3 for front. I want it as loud as I can get, but be safe. I prefer the focals at the rear or Morel, but kicker is the price gap. That's a lot of power. I mean, 100 to 120 watts on those speakers is a lot of power. It's plenty of power. You don't need more. Those speakers are efficient. That's all they're going to take. So if done properly, set up, it's going to give you everything it can. Is that going to be enough for you? Don't really know. Don't know. People always want it to crack the core of the earth or make them go blind from but it's, you want it as loud as it can be and still be safe. Do it. Set it up, and then if you get it in there and it's like it's sounding good, I wish it was louder. Well, you got to change something, either speakers or amps. I know who the special guest is. For what, Bobby? I did a 3D printer. Profit. Actually, that's why we bought the Flash Forge, is I didn't want to spend the first 3 months owning a 3D printer so that I could just print parts for my 3D printer. To me, that was like, I don't want to do that. Oh, well, he announced that the other day. So the special guest for MasterTech is going to be Chip Foose. So for those of you guys that are super duper Chip Foose fans,
Oh yeah.
MasterTech will have the special guest. They're going to do they always do like a on stage interview and all that fun stuff. Will be Chip Foose, and then Courtney O'Brien, he's going to hang out and take some of the classes. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, it'd be nice. Hopefully I'll run into him in a bar and go, "Who are you again?" When's the last first flight each of y'all have been in? Fight? Oh, when's the last fist fight each of you have been in, and did y'all win? Jesus, probably freaking high school. If that, maybe middle school. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Yesterday. No.
You were beating up your pillow?
Dude, no, that was Sebastian.
Oh.
Sebastian and I.
Yeah, but that's not fist fight. You wrestle,
We
man.
totally fist fight.
Oh, wow.
Boom. No. I don't know. I don't remember.
No, I mean Haley punches the shit out of me, but I'm not gonna hit her back. I find it interesting how you tiptoe around anything JL. Here's the thing: I have nothing against JL. We're not a JL dealer. We don't get to spend a lot of time with JL, so it's not really tiptoeing. I'm not going to claim like I'm an expert about JL. We've worked with JL. We have people that bring JL in here, so our experience with JL is limited. So I can only speak to what we actually know. Mm-hmm. You ask us something about Focal, something about Morel, the brands that we constantly play with, then yeah, we know a lot more about them. Right. We've had good success with customers JL. We've had C5, C3s, C1s, C7s. We've had a couple C7s. Mm-hmm. And it's what it is.
Amplifiers, same thing.
I'm not going to pretend like no, I don't know. It's just the stuff we've done, we've had good success with. We kind of have said everything we need to say about like the limitations as far as our knowledge on JL. When we were talking about the mid-range and being able to fit in the car the other day when we were talking about it, it really doesn't matter if it's JL, Morel, whose speaker it is. The most important thing is you got to get speakers that will actually fit in the locations they go to. Mm-hmm. So, and there again, we know the other speakers better. So, yeah. What's up, Yakdil? Apparently he's a secret Taco Bell fan.
Secret Taco Bell?
Yeah, he's a big fan. I'm using a Pack Audio AP4 FD11 on my factory radio. Can I still use bass knob on amplifier? 100%. The only thing that knob that comes with the Amp Pro is used for is if your amplifier, one, you don't like the bass knob your amplifier comes with and you want to use it, or two, if the chimes in the car are not set properly, how you set them is using that knob. Otherwise, no, you don't need the knob at all. You can leave it unplugged, you can leave it plugged in, you can tuck it in the dash, you can do whatever you want and use the one that comes with your amplifier. It's totally not needed. Do you work for Paul or contract out? Every 2 weeks I get a check from Paul. Has his name on it. So I work for Paul. We're Paul's bitches. Yeah. But then we also work for ourselves. Right. So we also have the production company, Smash Force Productions, which is what allows us to do this. And that's who's going to SEMA. Mm-hmm. Paul's 5-star is a client, or like this logo. He's a client. It's a client.
It's a relationship.
It's a relationship. It's a symbiotic relationship. It's very complicated. Luckily for Fernando, he gets 2 paychecks. He's getting a paycheck from me, and he gets a paycheck from Paul. So everyone he looks at is just throwing money at him.
Oh, yes, I dance.
Chip Foose is the man. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
I don't know if I saw him. He was over there. I didn't go, oh, Chip!
You did that?
No. I just go, hey, that's Chip Foose. And the guy I was standing with the Nakamichi guys. Okay. And they looked at, I'm sorry, no. Brazilian guy that lives in Tampa. Bema. I was standing with the Bema guys. Okay. That's right, I was standing with the Bema guys. And I go, oh my gosh, that's Chip Foose. And he goes, is that who that is? I go, yeah. I go, that's
serious, bro?
Are you serious, bro? Better 4-channel amp, Alpine Type R or Sony Mobile ES?
Ooh.
I think there's more options, like crossover-wise, like if you're wanting to do active on the Mobile ES, because the Mobile ES, all channels have band passes, I believe.
All of them.
Whereas the R-Type does not.
Yeah.
So the 6-channel R type is pretty cool because it has staggered power. But otherwise, the
mobile ES is
the mobile ES has way more options if you're going to be using like the amplifier for amplifier stuff and no DSP type stuff. So the frequency level tells a lot about quality of
6.5.
6.5 inch speakers.
The quality of the levels, like the frequency response.
I don't know. Or it's, yeah, weird. Okay. Yeah, I get what you meant by 6.5. I mean, if you mean, yeah, like the frequency response, there's a lot that goes into it. Let's be honest. At the end of the day, sometimes you just have to take a leap of faith and the guy that's telling you that these are the speakers to go with, or 2, you actually just have to listen to him because it's not one thing that makes a speaker like sound great. It's the combination of all the things, like in life. You know, a steak is just a steak, but a steak cooked properly with the right seasoning, and then the salt dripped over your arm, apparently is a way better way to do it than just grabbing a Walmart steak and going, here you go. So it's a culmination of everything that goes into it that makes that speaker great, and makes that amplifier great. And greatness is cool. Yeah. We need a Morel 2.5 or 4 inch in my door, I think.
You need a lot of stuff, Christian.
You know, we're not even going to go there with what you know. Did you see Car Audio Fab video tour of the JL? Made me want to support a company like JL. I've seen bits and pieces of it. Thank you for the good info. God bless you guys. No, thank you for asking the questions and making it fun for us. What's up, Dean and Fernando?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Just trying to get through the day. Hi, guys. Sounds like an entanglement. Have a great rest of your week. Will do.
Thank you, man.
GMOS4, can I get rid of it? Depends what you needed it for. How Jeff Smith doing? Jeff Smith's doing great. He stopped by yesterday. He was on his way out of town. He needed to pick something up that we had.
Yep.
We're going to be spending the weekend. Next week, we'll be spending with him. He's very tired. He's been busting his butt getting the audio control display ready for SEMA. So it shipped out yesterday along with all the other stuff that's going with the booth. He's flying out to Vegas on Friday, or he has to be there by Friday.
No, he has to leave.
He's leaving Friday? Yeah, he's leaving for Vegas tomorrow. So he got home probably.
He's going to be there Friday.
Yeah. So he got home last night, probably midnight, and then probably has enough time to say hi to the girls. And
bye.
Then bye again. Yeah. So he's just tired. Yeah. I still have an Alpine 3527 and my 67 Mustang that's been working for 31 years. Damn. Most of the time, so like some of the older Alpine, like my older 7909 that I had, that went through person after person after person. Actually, it ended up in Sue's car before that was the last place it was. The only thing that went bad on it was there was a sticky, when you put a CD in, there was a little rubber piece that like grabbed the CD and held it in place. And over time, that it would get gooey, kind of like a Volkswagen Dash. Okay. So what would happen is if you left the CD in there, it would stick. So then you'd have to do this and try to come out and do this, and you'd have to like stick like a little tiny flat piece in there to have it pop off the board. Yeah. Other than that, it just that was it. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, it probably outlasted that car that it was in because it was like a '78 Toyota Corolla.
Oh wow!
I know. I wish we still had that. That was pretty badass. But back then we were young and stupid, so we needed the $80.
Yeah.
I still have a 7939 and 7915 as well, plus a complete CD changer that works.
Wow, dude.
You know, that's one of the, so like radios. I just never had an affinity to collect. Okay. You know what I mean? I just I know a lot of guys do, which is cool. And there's a bunch of places I've seen like guys that have rebuilt them and they clean them up and they like 3D print the bass knob, not the bass knob, but the volume knobs, and there's all kinds of retro. But I was an amp guy, so for me it was always about like the heat sink and the amp and just that kind of stuff. Which is funny because if you think about it, like the radio is way cooler, does way more stuff.
Yeah.
You know, but it was just that dumb piece of aluminum. It was just like, oh, it's so cool. It's like, no, man, you don't have pig races. Some of you guys don't even know what I say pig races. This guy doesn't. I still have my 79, 77 dead head CD player. There you go. Yeah. All right, guys, thank you so much for playing along with us. Tomorrow is Friday. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock for the news on Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips. Right. And if you're free tonight and you're looking for something to do, the most serious car audio show in the world, time out. Hold on. I actually just got a message from Hi-Fi as this was going. He's going to cancel the show tonight. Oh, wow.
Right. So you have a free night. There you go.
I think we're canceling the show tonight, guys. So if you're hoping to catch the show tonight on the Hi-Fi Vega Network, no. Apparently we're not doing that. So no show tonight. Damn. That was
late.
That was kind of... No Hi-Fi show tonight, guys. So sorry about that. Just got to make a family emergency. All right. With that being said, don't forget to tune in tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock for the news. That'll be fun.
That's right.
You guys have a great rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye.